What's going on, team? How we doing? I'm ready to get into the trading seat. You guys know where you're at. You're at live trading with Benzinga. Who's ready to bounce back? Get into the green action today. Let's see what we can find in the market. Stick around. It just might be an awesome trade right here, of course, on live trading with Benzinga. You don't want to miss it.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, traders, I'm ready to get into the trading action. I'll be joined by, of course, my co-host, Ryan Faluna, in just a little bit. You guys smash the like. Let's get to the action. You guys know where you're at. Of course, live trading here. Hit the like button. Let's get some more people in here. And like always, if you guys have some trading friends, if you guys can do us the favor, let everybody know that this is the best place to trade with a community and a place where you don't have to be paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to actually trade with a supporting community. And I will say that there's some that you do have to pay hundreds of dollars and don't even get the support of the community. So that's what it's about here on live trading with Benzinga. Of course, we'll be taking a look into the trade to pull action. Been struggling, but ready to bounce back, team. Ready to get after it. Not going to shy away. The only thing we're going to do is size down a little bit and do what? Focus on preservation, capital preservation, always the most important. That's what we're all about here at Benzinga, the processed approach. Let's take a look at what's going on in the markets. Been looking at this FFIE to maybe take a short on that, but let's talk about some other action, right? Let's take a look here at first the SPY today. You can see we're hanging out at the 442s. It's just been choppy land as of late, right? And I think that the easiest way to avoid chop is to start using hourly candles versus kind of the shorter time frame candles. And I think that that's what I'm going to be looking for to see what happens. You can see how Microsoft has a lot of resistance in the last couple of days. This is multiple days actions, and we're not really going anywhere from this. This is where I think we need to just keep a watch on stocks like even NVIDIA, right? Will we get back there to 475, 480s? If we start doing that, we can start grinding higher. Now, if we keep into this kind of channel where we're down to 460s, 455s, yes, that could look like short opportunities, but really you're staying within the range. I think that's where we got to be careful today. And of course, we'll be taking a look at a lot of stocks. So keep throwing them up. I see you out there, Carmen, thinking about Chewy. We'll take a look at that. And it's always good to see multiple names in the chat. If you guys are brand new to the show for any reason, just hit the like button. Let everybody know who you are, what type of stocks you are looking at today. And trust me, you'll find a supporting community. Let's keep going to the action. Hourly charts better than short time frame, even for day trading, at least for me, Patel. And I can talk a little bit about this. What I really like using the hourlies is that a lot of the institutional action and the bigger time frame traders, the big money, right? Because they can't get in on the 1 minute time frames. They use these bigger time frames to look for support tests to where you can have that nice small risk on support and then looking for that big reward on the resistance attempt, right? Well, that's what I'll be looking for. And yes, at least I feel that the hourly chart is one of my best and favorite charts for day trading. Like always, you guys can take that with a grain of salt and see it for yourself. That's what it's all about here. And where's my cheese? Yeah, it all depends on your trading strategy, setup, and rules. I agree. Mitch, I keep trying to help, but nobody is listening. Book club, next book club should be Tom DeMark. It will change the way you think about it. Send me the book. Nas, send me the book. If you could send it to my Twitter, I will definitely take a look at it and include it in the options for the book club. Of course, we'll be continuing the book club tonight. I got so much to do today, but guess what? I ain't going to stop, guys. And we got a great interview for you guys right here. We'll be talking to an interesting conversation coming up. You guys don't want to miss that. We'll get into a conversation with the director in trading education from Schwab, Joe Mazzola. I don't want to miss that. That's coming up at 10:45 later today. And of course, we'll have Ryan Faluna taking a look at some of the smaller names. If you guys have smaller names or anything that you guys want to take a look at, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Mitch, why do you say the institutions can't get in on the 1 minute? Can't their bots trade all the time frames? So the way that works is a lot of times when you go to an institutional desk, a lot of the times the traders on the floor, right? They use like 15 minutes and hourly charts. I haven't seen an institution desk that has said they use shorter time frames than a 15-minute chart. And this is just kind of spoken out there, right? There's no guarantees. Of course, algos are a little bit different. Algos are using what computer time frames, right? So they could go down to the 1 minute if they wanted. But we're talking about the manual traders, right? The guys that get like, hey, I need you to get 1 million shares of, I don't know, whatever the stock may be. Maybe it's AI. All right, perfect. Okay, so how am I going to go about that? Well, I'm going to be trying to beat the VWAP today, the volume weighted price average, right? If I can beat that on the trading desk floor and they gave me that order and I beat the VWAP on the day, I did a good job as a trader for the institutional desk. Of course, nowadays you have a lot of algos that are running this volume, but there's still some traders that are actually out there. It's just not as much as it used to be. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. And yeah, we're going to be bringing some interviews whenever we can, especially things that can help you guys, right? Like a director of trading and education, right? This could definitely help you guys. So stick around. That'll be at 10:45. All right, let's take a look at some other stock action. Of course, we can take a look at some like kind of trades in tech to see what happens there. We'll see what happens in energy today. I'll keep a watch on XLE. Energy has been just battling. WTI is what I like to focus on for crude. It's been up and down, been battling in the 80s. Are we going to go to 82 or are we going to go to 78? Those are the two levels that I'll be looking at. 82, bullish on oil. 78, start getting bearish on oil. This is why I always want to have what? Two outcomes that could happen. It's not necessarily one way. We'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at what stocks you guys are mentioning in the chat. If you guys have anything for me to take a look at, throw it up. We can take a look. Chewy is being brought up in the chat, so let's take a look at that. Let's go first to the daily chart, right? This has been really beaten down. I mean, really beaten down as of late. You guys can see it's down to 26.10. Did it turn around here at the 26? Yes, it did turn around. But the question, will it hold those pullbacks now? That's one thing that I would be looking for, to see these body closes hold there. The close was 25.76 and then 25.76 here. So 25.76 and 26.18. Oh, no, it's at the same spot there. Yeah, same spot. So that's the level that I'd be watching. The 25.75 level is going to be very important. If that can hold, maybe you can get Chewy back up to the next resistance. Next resistance maybe up there towards 26.70s. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, I see what you guys are seeing for the turnaround. The only question is, will it break that 25.75 on the downside action? Is something I'd be alert for. All right, let's keep going. You guys can keep throwing tickers and I can take a look at what else is going on. GSAT being brought up in the chat. What's up? What's up? Trade the pool. It's good to see you, Gil. Always good to have you in the chat. We'll keep it going. Let's take a look at what else is going on here. GSAT. Let's take a look here. GSAT already up there. It's a $1.34 stock, getting a nice little pop here in the pre-market. Let's go to a shorter time frame on this, right? And when I'm in the penny stocks, I can go a little bit tighter and see what's going on. You can see we had a little lift in the 730. Nice kind of little symmetrical triangle that we popped out of it. Then we kind of did a very similar move here. And I think that that's important to look when the stock's repeating a pattern. That's something to look at, right? And you guys can see here, it's kind of a little bit of a trend right back to that middle and then break up, right? Same thing happened here. Trend right back to that middle and then break out right back up. So what we can look for is maybe an expansion to 142 and then a little bit of a pullback in this similar manner. Now, one thing that I can see is that this stock has done two moves. I think a lot of the times I see three moves happen and a fourth attempt, but nothing more than that fourth attempt. That's just the way that I see it. Of course, you know, that goes into kind of the rule of three outlook, but we'll see what happens there on GSAT. I'm sure maybe Ryan might even cover this one. But let's keep going. I'm going to do one more and then I'll bring in Ryan. Of course, Ryan's ready to go. You guys see him with that smile. He can't hold back. Let's keep taking a look. And the last one I'll take a look at is JPM. This has continued to come down as we've been seeing the bearish action in the banks Can this get back above 149, 150? That's the turnaround that gets this driving back higher. If the banks drive higher, really start driving higher, I think that we'll get another run in the market. But if the banks keep showing concerns, that's where I can see the concern coming back in the market. That's why I've been talking about the KRE and potentially shorting the KRE. So I will actually be watching this today. If financials just want to take a pounding to the downside like they did here on the 25th and go down the KRE to 43.20s, I wouldn't mind trying to catch that opportunity back through the 44.20 area. We'll see what happens in the bank and certain actions out there. Let's go to my man Ryan in a second. He'll be sharing his charts. We'll take a look at what he's taking a look at, of course. And you guys know, hint, poke, poke.
It's so good. That was such a pro poke, Mitch. I dropped the ball there and you picked it up and scored. That's amazing. Okay.
Hey, that's what it's all about, guys. We'll get into the action. We'll take a look at what Ryan's taking a look at. And of course, we'll be into all the action out there. Smash the like, team.
All right. So you were right about GSAT. We're going to cover that here shortly. But the first thing we're going to take a look at is the SPY, because lo and behold, we're still dealing with the same thing we talked about yesterday. We're dealing with this resistance at 444 and then the simple moving average at 444.82. If SPY breaks above that, the next test here to see how strong the bulls are is going to be a test of that 460 level, which was the previous high. Remember, all-time highs here at 480. So I'm not saying we're going there. Again, my thought is that we trade back down, especially given everything that's going on. But this is the battle that we're looking at in the SPY. Now let's flip over to some of the smaller names here. First one on the list here is going to be TCRX. Now, this one I saw getting a little bit of mention on the Twitter streets yesterday. It gapped up here this morning. We did have a news catalyst here. T-Scan Therapeutics announces FDA clearance of investigational new drug application for one of their drugs here. This targets preferentially expressed antigen and melanoma application. Okay, so that's what the drug targets. Okay, so this one, we'll see. It's not really going crazy yet. It's got a 40 million float, just under 40 million float. So we'll see how this behaves. But looking at this one, I actually picked up a little bit of this yesterday. Let me go ahead and mute that. I actually picked up a little bit of this yesterday. So I have a couple hundred shares going into today. So we'll see. I look to close that today. Let's put it that way. However, fresh issues from the list here are going to be, first one here is going to be TVIC. This is ticker TIVC. This is Tivic Health Systems. This stock is popping. Now, I didn't see any news here. Let's see if we got it filled in here. Yeah, don't really see anything fresh from today. Yesterday, we obviously had a PR there, but unsure that that's actually moving it. That might have popped it in the pre-market. We bled all day, and then today we have outsized volume, taking this almost as high as 550. Now, we've come back into the VWAP, so I absolutely love seeing that. And I think that this actually might give us a trade. But keep in mind what this stock did yesterday, right? We popped in the open, or excuse me, we popped in the pre-market. And then right from the open, we sold off. And then we just kind of drifted lower the rest of the day. So we really don't want to take a trade on this if we think TIVC is going to behave the same way here today. Keep this one on watch, though. This one should be in play today. Next here is going to be ICCT. I also didn't see any news on this. This up just a little bit. This had a big day yesterday. I can't remember what the news was for this. Yeah, no new news here today. Yesterday, we had a clarification regarding trading common stock. Not really even sure what that means. I have to go through that PR. This one really kind of holding, though. You can see yesterday, we just kind of traded up. Kind of traded sideways the rest of the day. So let's see if we break out of the sideways formation, ticker ICCT. Next is going to be GSAT, and this is the one you folks are waiting for, no question. GSAT popping here on a catalyst, pretty decent volume. We've taken 3 legs up here. I expect this type of trading action here today. On this one, definitely don't want to try buying the range break to the upside, especially on the first trade. Want to make sure that this comes back in near or to a support and add on the pullbacks, and then try to scalp it to the upside if we get continued momentum. Catalyst here, Globestar shares are trading higher after the company announced it appointed Dr. Paul Joseph Jacobs as CEO and announced an agreement to license XCOM Labs technology. Now, I'm not sure what XCOM Labs technology are. I do know that GSAT has moved plenty of times in the past. In fact, if we take a look at the daily chart, we can see a lot of the times this pops and then will drop pretty pretty much the next day or the day after. So again, here looking at previous performance, definitely want to take this as a shorter term trade, but we might get some action here today. Next on the list here is going to be BNOX. This is Bionomics. This is another bio stock that's really kind of just holding the VWAP here. Had a decent trade yesterday, a decent trading opportunity yesterday on volume, and then pretty much nothing the rest of the day, which was kind of a bummer. Got a little action in the after hours. I was not active in the pre-market here today. We're holding that level, so that's good. What I'd really like to see here is a break out of this sideways range. So we'll move up to 220. That actually corresponds pretty nicely with the pre-market high here today. So if we test that and break that, I think 260 or the top of this candle might be in play. We'll see. A lot will depend on the actual volume itself. PDD, and this is going to be one of our bigger cap stocks here. PDD reported earnings this morning. Market likes it. So trading higher after company reported upbeat second quarter financial results. Went as high as 92, backed off that, but really kind of holding here at the VWAP. I have no position in this one. I know the options are pretty popular. Pretty sure Zunaid used to trade these options as well. PDD likely to be in play here today. I'll let you know if I end up trading this one. We'll see how that goes. Next here is going to be Tiger. This is Uptech Financial. They popped as high as 410. They actually broke above it, but really couldn't hold that there. They released earnings as well this morning, so looking pretty good here. We'll see if Tiger can run. If we take a look at the 15-minute chart, you can see we're really kind of coming back to where we were rejected before. 418, 420, definitely an area of interest here. If we can get above that, let's see if we can really go on a run here with Tiger. Rustam, you should be happy. We're going to talk about DNA today. You ask every day. Today, there's actually some action here in the pre-market, so let's discuss it. We also have a PR. Ginkgo Bioworks shares are trading higher after the company and Google Cloud announced a 5-year strategic cloud and AI partnership intended to enable Ginkgo to develop and deploy AI tools for biology and biosecurity. I'll tell you what. Let's see if that AI bubble is actually over. I know Mitch and I have talked about that quite a bit. Really good PR here. Biology and biosecurity, bringing in AI to that. I will see if this ends up giving us some trades here today, but a nice little move today. We closed right under 180 yesterday, currently at 194 here today, hugging right at that VWAP. So interested to watch this one out of the gate as well. Kraken, who wants to trade Kraken today? Not me. This stock, Crown Electrokinetics, seems to bite me every time I try to trade this. We'll see. Maybe we make a move back to the VWAP here, but don't feel great about it. The other thing that I wanted to cover is Hawaiian Electric. So I know some people are actually swinging this. I've day traded this a few times recently. I did see some news yesterday. In fact, let's see if it's in the news feed. I saw a clip on Twitter that I flagged. This was halted a whole bunch yesterday. Let's see. I don't see that. Searches on my update. I don't know if that's the one in here. Anyway, I saw a news alert or a news flash. I can't remember exactly what they called it, saying that the fires that rekindled or restarted, there's basically two options. And both of them, I'd actually have to pull that tweet up here. I don't have it handy. I'm sorry about that. But there's basically two options. Both of them exonerate HE for the rekindling of the fire. So obviously we still need to the investigation still needs to conclude if they were at fault for the original fire, but the second fire that kind of flared up, the rekindling of that fire, doesn't look like that has anything to do with Hawaiian Electric. Can see that this actually drifted up in the after hours yesterday, was higher in the pre-market today. It's come back in a little bit, but let's see how this actually trades when the market opens here. I'd love to see a move through VWAP on this. And as always, the volume is going to tell the story here. So that's pretty much what I got. The other thing is that Lynn and Randy, you are breeding an addict here, because one of the first stocks that I thought about today was Tesla. I will say that the range and the movement on Tesla is very, very appealing. I can see why you use this as your ATM stock. In the past, my performance trading Tesla has been poor, but this really seems to give some really good moves. I was successful yesterday in scalping it. I'll look to do that again today. This is also going to be a stock that's in Trade the Pool, so I look to target this when I can actually get into my account. Still having some account troubles there. Reached out to their support here today, so hope to have that resolved for tomorrow's session. But definitely going to be watching Tesla here today. Love to see it under the VWAP. A move through the VWAP and a volume build would be really good for holding this a little bit longer into the morning. So we'll see if we can get a nice day trade here on Tesla. Let me see is there any other stocks that you folks want to take a look at? Jason, you suggested VFS. I actually haven't taken a look at that today. VFS down 10% here today. This pretty much takes us right to the highs of Friday. All right, so let's keep it in perspective where we're at. In fact, if you really want to keep in perspective, maybe don't even look at the daily chart. Let's look at a 15-minute chart. You can see exactly where this stock has come from. Do we bounce here? Good question, Jason. Maybe. And given how VFS has traded, there could be some pretty significant movement in this stock. So if you're actually able to successfully make one of these trades, should be in good shape. I'm going to be very, very careful with this. The same warnings that I was giving you folks last week, I'm going to say again here today. To me, this just seems a little bit risky. Now, that's easy for me to say because I really don't have a position and I'm kind of just trading it short term. I know that there were a lot of people, including 13, who made really significant money on this last week. So I don't necessarily want to scare anyone away, but just remember when you're dealing with something like this, the moves can be fast and they can be shocking. So make sure you have a plan for either outcome. All right, let's go back to the list here. Keep going, Ryan. Consistent lunch money for Portillo's. Hey, we need to keep boosting their same-store sales, Lynn and Randy. So I'm all about that. If we can do that, I'm all about that. Wally, good to see you this morning. OKYO is what you want to take a look at. Let's go ahead and do that. By the way, we're a minute and a half till the market opens here. Hopefully Mitch makes it back. OKYO here. So I see that they popped here in the pre-market. Did we have news? Yes, we did. All right. Regains compliance with NASDAQ listing its minimum value. Okay. I'm not sure. This is definitely good here for this morning. I'm not sure how great this is going to be long term. But they regained NASDAQ compliance. So let's go with that. Looks pretty good. One of the things I'd like to see here, pop above 320. 320 going to be my near-term spot. We pop above 320, maybe we can make a run at 4. But I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. We'll see. Good one to put on the list here, though. Glenn, good to see you this morning. Glenn, did you want to play fantasy football? I reactivated the league and I shrunk it a little bit because I'm not sure how many participants I'm going to have. I know that's for the happy hour crew. You've been a long time happy hour goer. Let me know. I did actually remove that, but let me know. I can go ahead and fix that. Moderna, I stay away from all of these stocks. I don't ever trade them, but we are kind of holding some recent gains here. I didn't see any news on Moderna today. Yeah, I don't think that's for Moderna. Anyway, I don't really see an angle here on Moderna. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Glenn, let me get you back in there. I'll send you a link on Twitter. I think that's probably the best way to contact you. Moderna, if it moves through the VWAP and makes a run at this high here, maybe we can get some action. Mitch, no, I'm still having password troubles. There is an email out to the support team. I did CC you on that. So I tried it again here this morning, was not able to log in. I think I probably did something stupid. Frankly, these things are normally user errors. So hopefully somebody can bail me out, but looking to get ready right away.
Yeah, I'm sure Gil will be on it in just a second.
Yep, Gil's here. I saw Gil in the chat earlier. Okay, we are open. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here's GDC from yesterday. What a nightmare that was.
All right, guys. So Carvana, I'd be careful with that because the firm has lately gotten a lot of push. I need to see a firm fail first if I want to be looking for that type of reaction. It's something definitely to keep an eye out. That's one of the stocks that I'm watching today. But reaction starting here is above 18. So be careful there on a firm. It's been a big push since their earnings.
All right, GSAT pulling back to the VWAP here. CELU penny stock. Sorry.
Technology starting to lead here. So I'm going to focus to see what happens there. Of course, I need to see big moves on the hourlies to see that feel like, yeah, we're going to get the push. Looking at the KRE, go straight down through that 44.20s here. So I'm going to be looking to see maybe I get short some banks today. That was a pretty quick move here. Now down to 44.03s. Look at that nice little hit here. So I'm going to look to see if this can come back to 44.20s, and then I can get some short. We'll see what happens. KRE.
Yeah, ICCT, Candyman, ICCT looks like it's going here. I want to be careful about buying the upside range break, though. Remember, we talked about this being, what, 230? I'd like to see this pull first. I'm scared to go after it here. AXLA penny stock moving towards moving towards the highs, not quite taking them out yet. ICCT up at 230 here. Looks like they brought in some sellers there, but they were hit.
FAZ starting to get a little lift there.
Wow.
Yeah, this is why I was watching this, man. That's a nice little flush there. Another way to play this is the FAZ. We also got this, of course, on Trade to Pool, and this is a way to maybe play it to the upside here. And you can see how we've been kind of battling the 1860s, 1865. So.
Okay, so ICCT, this is just my own fault for not taking any of the risk here. I talked about not wanting to buy the upside range break. Well, that was wrong. We popped right through that 231 up to 266. This stock is going to get halted if they hold it here. I don't think there's any trading. That might have just been a huge pop. ICCT, nice one out of the gate there. Didn't take this though. Didn't hit this one. Darn.
GS coming down there. FAZ starting to get the lift. That doesn't look too bad there. At least my bank outlook for downside there is looking like it's starting up the action. We'll see what happens. The KRE, can it bounce there and maybe give me an entry? Hasn't bounced at all today. It's just been one big candle down. Of course, I'm waiting for a 5-minute candle to end, and that's about in 1 minute and 46 seconds. VZ mentioned in the chat by Wally. I'll take a look at it. I can trade it here, so why not? This is getting the lift after an upgrade. So we'll see if this can keep the upgrade and keep it pushing. Let's see the daily chart. See if it looks like a nice daily chart. Well, it looks like there's some resistance in the 30, 40, 50. But right now we can maybe bust through this quick resistance right here from this high of 34.25s. That'd be the next step up I'd look for. We got towards 20s and stopped. Let's see if we get to 25s there on VZ. Looking around, guys, and I'm starting to see some red action in the market. Technology is up, and so is healthcare, but it's just slightly. What's red is energy, basic materials, and real estate. Energy taking a hit today, so XOM on the big pullback there, now to 108.60s. So seeing some downside action in that. I need to take a look at WTI, but definitely seeing some dragging in the energy names.
So ICOR, so this is interesting. This looks like it's halted. Let me quick flip to it. This looks like it's halted, but there we go. Now I finally got the halt notification in there. Okay, so that seemed to come a little late there. Unsure what that is. The other ones look like they were spot on, so I don't think it's a pro issue. Anyway, ICCT halted. Darn, missed this one, but at least we flagged one from the list. So got one of the winners off the list there. Unfortunately, I didn't trade it. Candyman, looks like you got it. Awesome stuff there.
All right, guys, we're back above VWAP on SOXL. We're starting to get a push here in tech. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And I'm trying to see if we can get a continued push. The Qs are breaking out there. So I could look at Microsoft, Apple, those types of plays. I'm looking at SOXL here to try to maybe ride a little bit of a leverage. I need a pullback here at 2120s. I don't want to buy 2130s here because then it easily could just come to that 2120s here. But am I seeing a breakout right now? Yes. I'm just looking to see if I can get some type of pullback here. Catch some buyers at the top, then I buy them as a pullback. We'll see what happens there, but SOXL, look at it's already jumping there. So like it might not even give me the chance on the pullbacks. We'll see what happens here as we're getting tech to start going up. And that could help also other trades, like smaller trades go into green, right? So DNA is on my radar here. It's just pulled back to the VWAP there. Looks like it wants to maybe make a $2 run. This is a nice flagging pattern here. So if you guys like flags, this looks interesting right now. You guys can see the flag right there. I'll draw the trend lines here, and then you guys can see them. And this plays right into the rule of three. Up one, down one, up two, down two, up three, down three. I like how it's holding 190s right now for the breakout back above two. We'll see if we get that breakout and continue going.
Jason saying, Ryan, please tell me you took Google. You called it. I did not. I am not trading Google. But
Google's
this
a
is
strong
nice
name.
little strong move out of the gate here on an AI day. Whereas as what Jay said, Google strong on AI day.
Yeah, it already has a nice little lift, and that could help tech overall, right? Let's just be honest. And I saw Nvidia getting strong there, so I'm looking for some type of pullback here. We'll see what happens. There we go. Now we're getting some pullback. All right, just got a little bit there at the 22s, willing to add on the pullbacks. See if we can get to 18s here.
Kano moving here. Ticker CANO, 31 cents for you penny player. Sorry, Mitch, didn't mean to run you over there.
You're good. Kano getting a nice little lift there. We'll see what happens.
Pinduo by the way, from the list. So this went higher here.
Pinduo. That tells me maybe look for a Baba or a CWeb. All right, guys, I have 2122s. I'm willing to add on this Soxel trade, but I also want to try to improve my average here and not jump too quickly. So letting the trade give you some time, and then maybe it takes off, and then I can add to
ICCT open popped as high as 3. It looks like now through 3 and big pullback. This thing way too volatile and too spread for me to trade right now. Congrats for all of you that were on ICCT. Let me get that back up here.
Big pullback in Nvidia there.
351 ICCT might be in play here. TCRX up to 229. That's working. Good morning. So Alyssa, let me go ahead and post this in here. Don't forget, folks, go ahead and enter our weekly giveaway here for some BZ swag. Thank you, Alyssa. You can just click on the link that I put in the chat. Be sure to follow Benzinga so that you're in the know on all of the updates and things, and also other giveaways. ICCT pulled back there sharply. We'll see if this ends up bouncing. ICCT coming back in. Hopefully you guys took your gains on that one. We'll see if that sets up again.
All right, guys, trying to add to my Soxel. Now I'm at 2119s. We're down to 2111s. I still like the way that the Qs are bouncing off the VWAP here. Want to see if the Qs can bounce off of VWAP and come back up to 367.50s. So keep your eyes on that. That's what at least I'm looking for upside continuation. We'll see what happens. I did see Nvidia as an opportunity also. Looks like Secret Treasures went long Nvidia. Best wishes to you, my friend.
EDD puts coming in, by the way. That went to new highs. Now we're seeing puts. Free swag is the best swag, says Alyssa. You got it.
Always.
Oh, right. I'm right, Mitch. I mean, who's going to turn down free 99? It's the best price point out there.
Dude, I rock it all the time. I'm all about the swag. You guys see it.
When I go to the, I feel bad.
Who don't want this hoodie?
Dude, those hoodies are sick. Let me tell you something. Every time I go to the office, one of the first things I do is I check out to see if there's any new swag I don't have and throw it in my suitcase.
All right, guys. I'm feeling like stepping up to the plate here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and step up to the plate. The big thing for me is at 9:45, I have to go to a meeting. So I think I'm just going to try to size in here on the bounce. If I can get it back above VWAP, size up for the nice little move back to 2140s, 2150s. Just take kind of a quick little base hit, try to hit here. We'll see what happens. All right, so now we're starting to recover the 10s and 11s. That's what I wanted to see, the 21
ICCT went back through 3, so we'll see if that gets going some more. Rustam's DNA here, near highs, looking like this might take out the pre-market top here. I'm nervous about taking a range break to the upside. I know it just worked on ICCT. We'll see if it works on DNA. DNA having a strong day here today so far.
All right, just added a little bit more there in Soxel. We're back to 2117s. I'm seeing the Qs catch a little bit of some VWAP type of bounce here. Now I want to see this really take back up like the flagging pattern that I see on the Qs. So we'll see if this can just take through 367s and go higher. Close above 367 on a 5-minute is what I'd want to see. It's pulled back. Let's see if it takes it now. All right, now I'm in the green a little bit. Going to keep trying to add on the pullback slightly below towards like 2115s now.
Looks like
Already getting the
Tesla.
push here. All right, canceling my sell, my buy order there. Looking for this 200 to break through the 2140s, and then I could just take it all out at 2150s. See if we can really get this going here, guys. It's looking good here. DNA was a nice one, right, Ryan?
Yeah, no, DNA is working, and actually that's going here.
Nice
That
flag.
went.
That was a rule of 3 flag. I broke it down really
go.
quickly for traders out there, but hope somebody was able to see that one. Now it's all about the Qs. Did the Qs take out the highs? It went right to the highs and stopped at 367.40s. It needs to take out the high, intraday high right now in the 5-minute. You have a 367.57 on the Qs. That's what I'm looking to break here. If that breaks through, I think we got to get this stock sell towards like 2146, 2150s, and I could take it all out, celebrate a nice little win to start the day. $34s, 36. Let's go. Let's get it up there in the 40s.
TCRX going higher here. Really took out that spot at 229, 233 now. Tesla bouncing here.
Order out at 2145.
Grabbed some Tesla here.
Boom. There we go, baby. A nice little $52 trade to start the day. Bada bing, bada boom on Soxel up there to 2146. I will take it and run, baby. Cha-ching all day.
Out Tesla on that scalp. Not bad.
All right,
green
guys.
on the, so this is good.
Green
so Mitch,
on the screen, baby.
I was going to say, Mitch, one of the things I was a little upset right at the open because I did miss ICCT. I put that, I didn't lose money, but I missed it because I had it flagged and I didn't trade it. But now the stock that I'm holding from yesterday, plus a quick scalp here, has got some green on the screen. That confidence is building. So I'm already over the fact that I missed a pretty big winner. We got more opportunity coming. Let's go.
All right, guys, you guys can see it here, guys. I'll show you guys it on the 5-minute. That was a nice little Q's pullback, but it really was also really pretty on the 1-minute. And I'll add the 1-minute here. I've been trying to stay away from it, but I mean, I don't mind. I'll show you guys it right now, just to kind of at least show you the flagging and the VWAP bounce. So you guys see here that light blue line's the VWAP, and a lot of times one of my favorite strategies is called what? It's the VWAP bounce strategy. So we're looking for a strong action out the gates. So you can see that with this rectangle, right? So you get this big green area, right? Then you're going to look for pullbacks and support to risk off of. So for me, the support was around the 366.60s for the Qs. As it pulled back to that VWAP and it started to reclaim 367, this is when I started talking about that now I want to see this really kind of take off to the upside. That's what happened there. Nice little flagging action on this stock. So it was a pretty nice little play here to get after. And I'll show you guys the flag action too. You guys can draw bottom trend lines and kind of stay with this, right? And so if we actually zoom in here, what are we going to see? Up 1, right? Down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3 on this extension. And then from there, we shouldn't close below that. That was right around here. That's when I started seeing this little wick through. And I was like, as long as we can reclaim now, get through the trend line and then close towards 367, that's what I wanted to see. Boom. Now we're a little bit higher. Tech names driving higher here, guys. Look at NVIDIA driving higher, 471 and driving higher. This is one of the stocks that I was telling you guys I felt like could get moving here. Microsoft's the next one that I'd be kind of keeping an eye out. Apple's taking a nice little lead. We'll see if Apple can keep driving higher, but some of these stocks looking strong right now. And tech taking lead, also communication services doing well today, and healthcare. What's in the red? Energy.
Speaking of tech, Mitch, Tesla was rejected at the highs, came back in a little bit, and then broke those highs. So Tesla still have some strength to the upside here. Q's also at the highs here. So tech seems to be strong. G. Valetti, Mitch was not talking about DNA. I had mentioned DNA here. DNA real strong. Volume looking good. This thing moving towards the highs. No position here for me, but Rustam's got to be dancing on the table with this one. Let's go.
Yeah, I did a little quick breakdown on that one. It wasn't something that I was going to trade, but I could see the trade really easily. And I'll show you guys it really quickly here on DNA. And then I have to hop for a little bit, but I'll be back in like
I
5
got you.
minutes, guys.
I got you.
It's just a quick little thing that I got to get through. But you guys can see here, and I always like when we doing the rule of 3, right? On the flag, up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3, then take off. So a lot of times, if it doesn't come through the kind of the trend lines, that's where you got to be careful. Those are like little fake outs, like this little dip here. I wouldn't really consider it all the way going to the trend line. This little break here, this was a nice little red to green scoop. Now you're through those 212s. One way to read the expansion, 180 to what? To 202. That's what? 22 cents higher. That's what I would be looking on max extension from here. That's 196, 22 cents higher from there. We're talking what? We're into the 218s, 219 area. We're almost there already. This is looking pretty extended already here towards 213s. We'll see what happens there on DNA. Like always, guys, I'll be right back. Just give me a couple seconds. We nailed the first trade. I'll be back to do some more.
All right. In the meantime, I will hold the fort down, Mitch. We will see you real soon. Rustam, I'm pretty sure that your DNA position is more of a long-term position. So the fact that this feels a little heavy up here at the top might not matter to you yet. Looking at the 15-minute chart, we're trading right back up to the higher end of that consolidation area. This happened back at the beginning of August. Next spot up here, probably 237, 240, and then maybe 260-ish if we can get there. DNA strong here today. For newer trades here, I'd want this to come back in for the VWAP. Like, for example, if I was going to take out a position here, I'd really want this to come closer to the VWAP, hopefully maintain that strength and volume, and then bounce back to the highs. We'll see if we end up getting that. TCRX, this is still working here, looking pretty good. It's not on the relative volume scanner. Volume's a little bit lower than I'd like. Did take out that 238 though. I don't really see size on the ladder. I see a lot of buying here. TCRX up nicely on that from yesterday. You guys are saying ICCT at VWAP. Let's check on the ICCT. This did come back into VWAP, so good call there. Smoke Tuna also looking at BNOX, which looks like this is trying to take out 208. I have 208 as the high print of the day here. If we take 208 out, maybe we go higher. We popped as high as 256 yesterday, so a lot of room in there if that can keep moving. That's BNOX right here. Sorry, I thought I clicked on it. My bad. Wally, you want to take a look at VZ? It's kind of a slower trader. This is a premium dividend play. Nice little move out of the gate here on Verizon. So let me take a look here and see. Yeah. I think this is probably just a really solid dividend play still. I don't really see. I know it's running here out of the gate here. Maybe if it takes out this top here, what, 35? That would be a spot to watch. I think you're probably in that longer term though. The Crow calling CACO for you penny players out here. Nice little pop through VWAP on this penny stock. CACO. How about TIVC? Okay, so this just broke down. This is pretty much what it did yesterday, folks. This is what I said when we were taking a look at this. One of the things that we did not want it to do was duplicate what it did yesterday. It's doing exactly that. Popped in the pre-market, traded a little bit sideways, leaked a little bit, and then as soon as the market opened, sold down. Now, that's what it's done here. Now, this didn't bounce until the after hours yesterday, so I'm not going to for sure say that there's a bounce, but that's worth watching. When this big volume turns to buying volume, maybe we can make a run back towards the VWAP. We'll see. TCRX 242 now. That is just grinding up here. That was a good trade from yesterday. Looking around and some of the other stuff that we got rolling. I want to see TCRX break that 246. That would really be great. Givalletti asking about big, ticker big. That's for big lots. Let's pull that up here. I noticed that was popping earlier, up 23% today. Got to think something's going on here. It looks like earnings this morning. That is your news here, up 22% on big lots. Beat on the top and bottom line. Expects to be down in the low teen range modestly. Company not providing EPS guidance. Interesting. Still up 23% here on the backs of those earnings. Oh, this says upbeat guidance. This is a company not providing EPS guidance. Got it. So they probably guided for something else there. That's why it's trading up. So big, yeah, it's earnings. No, Raz, Mitch will be right back. You actually get me all to yourself on Thursday. So look forward to that. You guys are saying, I think I'm missing. Oh, GNS. Okay, so let's take a look at GNS. We traded that yesterday. Let's see if we get another opportunity here today. What did you do, chart? Why are you freaking out? So GNS came down out of the open here, trying to bounce though. If this gets above VWAP, maybe we move. DNS looking a little weak here. DNA super strong still. Rustam, wellness check on Rustam. Where are you at, bro? You got to be super happy. Daddy Backstrap, I'm 0 for 9 on trades this week. Oh man, that is a rough week, and it's only Tuesday, but thankfully you've got some time to turn it around here. Hopefully we're able to do that. Jason, you're talking about MasterCard. Oh my God, my thing freaked out again. What am I clicking that's making it do that? I don't know. Jason, the one thing here on MasterCard, so this definitely has been a really strong stock. One thing that we're kind of waiting for here is, does these credit delinquencies increase? Right. So right now the credit delinquencies are 3% or something like that. Like, it's really not alarming at all, but the amount of credit being used is growing and growing and growing. Now that might not matter. That might not matter if people don't go delinquent, but I'm wondering if student loan interest and repayment and all of that is going to have an effect on that. Let me stop my Slack. I am getting blown up right now. This is nuts. Okay. We should be all set there. Ryan, found a wedge with a 62% grade. Hopefully it'll get me out of the sand. I mean, yeah, you can get out of the sand with a 56. You should be fine with that, with the 62. One of my coworkers has a 64-degree wedge. He's crazy. You're up 14% in ICCT and you're still holding VFS short. Man, that's nice job. I know VFS really coming in down 14% here. I'd be nervous to be short that one personally. VNOX pulled back to under 2. Flip over here. Okay, and I actually think that, let me take a look on DNA here real quick. I don't really see anything else. ICCT came back in a little bit. Let's watch for this to maybe curl back up and take the highs out. Let's take a look at I want to see if the options in DNA. Yeah, so the options in DNA really popping here today. DNA 215, high at 220. Looks like the 2.5, and 3 calls for the September month, all active. Nice volume, and actually nice open interest there as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. And the 2.5 call has the $2.5 call has far and away the largest volume here today. So 2.5 pin on DNA might be possible. Tiger, let's see if this takes out the top. Lynn and Randy, you're out of Tesla. Nice move out of the open there on Lynn and Randy. I know you're waiting for the JOLTS data to come by. A firm was strong out of the gate. You said that's trying 19. Let me bring a firm up here. We'll do it while Mitch isn't here so he doesn't have a coronary. A firm popping towards the highs here. We'll see if this goes and takes out 19. Are any of these other ones setting up? NVCR, ESPR pop to the highs. I don't see setups here. Enox right at the VWAP here. This is an interesting one. 5 minutes till that jolt data. John, thank you for the heads up there. Sometimes I don't watch that when we have these prints that come after the open. I get too engrossed in what I'm doing. God, I love coffee, folks. Wow, Kano up 14 or 13% here. This was higher yesterday. Let's see if they take out 36 on Kano. I'm probably going to pass on the penny stocks here today. That's why we're a team here, John. That's why we're a team. When I do a spacewalk, as Sydney likes to say, or when I get distracted by something, got to have the community back it up. You're right there for it. So Jay, this is interesting. This is a discussion. We briefly talked about this yesterday. There were people on both sides of the aisle. Jay here saying, in my opinion, JOLTS data, not that important. We had a discussion about that yesterday in happy hour. There are people on, like I said, people on both sides. Some saying, yeah, this is one of the bigger economic prints. We'll see if this actually ends up moving the market. I have no trade for it. I understand why people want to stay out until we get that data out. What are your thoughts on it, Jay? What do you think? First, I guess, why do you think it's not important? And then secondarily, what do you think will happen? I guess really not as important if you don't think the print is important. OKYO, this was that was a Wally request earlier, right? OKYO, where did we go here? This dropped right out of the open, right back to where we were at. Be interesting to see if we can close in on VWAP there. Where is my cheese? Happy hour runs from 4 to 5 Eastern time, and you need to be a pro customer. By the way, great time for a pro plug. If you've never used pro before, you can try it absolutely free for 2 weeks, no credit card. So head on over to pro.benzinga.com, get started on the free trial. I can help you set it up. I can help you show you how you can identify all of these and get access to all that extra stuff like the happy hour. Oh, SPGC, that golf stock. I want to make money off of this so bad, folks. Okay, so Jay, you're waiting for the consumer confidence number. When is that? Is that Friday, Thursday? Remind me again when that print is due. GOEV from yesterday, looking like we're setting up for round 2 here. ICCT really kind of hanging around there. BNOX hanging around, not really moving either. Tesla looking like that might go for new highs. Probably should have stayed in that scalp a little bit longer. DNA pulling back to the VWAP here. Oh, okay, Sydney. Really quick. This is a really good call for anyone else out here. Intelligentsia is not my favorite. I've tried it. It's not my favorite. But Pete's is arguably one of my favorite coffee brands. And shout out to you for the French roast. The French roast is excellent. Everyone talks about Major Dickinson's blend. It's really, really good. I do that most of the time. But that French roast, underrated. Really, really good calls there on coffee. FNGR from Becca. Let's see where Finger is going. Finger motion. I've taken some hits on this one. Oh, Finger. Okay, nice move here, Becca. Oh man, didn't you mention this yesterday? I should have been watching this here this morning. Big volume pop pushed us away from the VWAP. Nice little move there on Finger. Let's see if this comes back in and sets up. I'd like to see the volume increase here. Good spot though, Bex. Okay, SPY NQ popping here. Did we get that JOLTS data? JOLTS openings for July, 9.465 million versus the 9.165 prior opening. Consumer confidence, okay, that was today here. 106 versus the 116 estimate. There you go. Confidence dropped. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, this is interesting. This is definitely causing the market to go higher here. All right. Marie, sorry, did I not read? I thought I read it. JOLTS openings for July, 8.827 million versus the 9.465 million estimate. The prior reading was 9.16. So JOLTS openings decreasing and under the estimate. Alex saying not a good sign. This is a tell. The bonds liked the consumer confidence number. Jay, that was the number that you were waiting for. That was the number that you liked more there. Market up. Market up. Oh, please, Jesse, come on, man. You're you want the honest to God truth? The honest to God truth is when I loaded up Twitter and it's like, follow Jesse back. I was like, follow him back. I'm not already following him. What the hell am I doing? I'm slacking over here. So I clicked it and hope you wouldn't notice. And then, of course, you noticed. Jay, bonds higher, tech higher, and that's exactly what's happening here. Tesla, oh man, Lynn and Randy, that Tesla trade, that would have really gone in our favor there. That's okay though. I'll wait for a pullback on Tesla and we can try and trade that again. You're saying GSAT trying? Took that off my screen here. Shame on me. You're right. GSAT is trying here. GSAT here, 131, I think, is that spot to take out. Yeah, 131 would be that spot to take out. We did have a little bit of stock traded at 132, but not significant at all. Let's see if GSAT can go. Wally, hey, I got that trade the pool. How do I get the 20% discount code? I don't know if we have an asset for that here. Mitch might. I'll have to wait till he's back. He has given me the rundown for when I do the show by myself here. And I try the QR code in the top and see if the 20% discount is attached to that QR code. TCRX continuing to move up here. Really like seeing that. DNA still pulling back here, but came back to the VWAP. This might set up again. Let's see. TIVC really disappointing here out of the gate. Take a look. Okay, let me go back here. Gonna roll through the list here. Really still waiting for TCRX here. Would love to see that take out 246. I'd probably close that trade if we do that. Luke, what's going on? Luke, for those of you that don't know Luke, you might not realize that his nickname is Hot Stocks Luke. So maybe if we get enough likes here for the show, Luke will give us a Hot Stocks pick directly from the source. Luke, let me know what it is that you are looking at here. Jesse, great call here. Discord for Trade the Pool. That might be a really good way to get in there and discuss with the community what's going on. Awesome suggestion. I will do the same thing. I will take that advice. LVFN, was there news on LVFN today? Let's see. Yes. So good earnings, dividend, LVFN, nice move here to the highs. Really came off the highs. Let's see if they take 750 out later today. Cross through the VWAP here on some volume would be pretty good. Watch this though. This moves quickly. Market's still pushing to highs. Tech still ripping. Anyone think this is a trap? Anyone think we're going to get trapped today? Market really needed this. Bitcoin popping to the highs too. VIX really smoked here today. That'll be interesting to see if that finds some footing. By the way, DNA might be bouncing now off that VWAP here. I actually have the VWAP a little bit higher on my broker than I do via trading view here. DNA, if we can clear this out, 211, 210, 211 on volume, I think this is a decent entry here. Luke getting all, everyone thinks it's a trap. Yes, everyone thinks it's a, oh, where is my cheese? I apologize. I think it is the real deal. All right. We'll see. We'll see. I don't really see anything else setting up here. The bigger caps, I'll be honest, folks, the bigger cap stocks gave us better moves here. GSAT, oh, I took it off my screen again. Look at GSAT, nice move here. Let's see if GSAT takes this high out. 135, the high, do have some size here at 134. If that block gets taken, probably some more juice to the upside. Oh my God, big prints here on GSAT. We'll see if we take this out. TCRX still holding well here. They're making the shorts sweat until they whack them in September. So you think September is going to be a bullish month for the market, Jay? That's interesting. That's good. Everyone seems to be in a better mood when football is back. Am I right? Man, no, I am. I know I am. Block here on GSAT at 136. They're hitting it. That it got taken, more size at 137. GSAT here going, folks. I didn't get filled at 136. I don't want to chase. I know it's only a penny, but I really don't want to chase here. Buzz saying pullback coming, so be careful. Let's see if GSAT pulls back here. I really don't want to take that. The upside range breaks really, really making me nervous. Looking around though, doing pretty good. GSAT going, man, and they're just walking the bid up under GSAT, big bid under it. GSAT going, man, they're chomping these blocks. I gotta think that this is going to pull at some point. GSAT, nice move. If you were in this from earlier, if you were in this from the initial VWAP push move or from the pre-market at all, I would say book some gains here. TCRX, let's go. That is working too. Folks, we're doing it today. TCRX took out that 246 spot, new highs here on TCRX, 253 year high. Let's see where we end up finishing. Bid above that 246 level. This one looking good here. Good volume here on TCRX. We're up nicely on that. That's trying to assassinate my bird. Yo, J2K, I got to practice. On Thursday, it's going to be just us, right? It's going to be just us. We need to make sure that we're rolling here. Hang on a second. This cat. Having a cat and birds is not easy. Yeah. Here, let's go this way. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Sydney's saying football brings out your aggressive mode. That might be true, actually. That might very well be true. Jay, LEU, very thin, but such a nice move since earnings. Next target is 50. Let's take a look at LEU. I don't really have another setup here per se. GSAT still pushing towards the highs. TCRX still working out, so we're good there. Tiger's still at the highs. Let's take a look at LEU. So here 50 is your target here on LEU. This is an interesting one, Jay. What is this energy company? What is this? Nuclear fuel. All right. I like it. You've talked about this one before. I feel like I just never bought it. HUYA, by the way, just popped. Let me bring that up on here. It looks like there was a spot on HUIA at 271 that it just busted through. I was not fast enough, did not get it. Let me go back to the intraday chart here. So here you go. This breakout, yep, 271 breakout right here. This volume stick pushing it to the highs. Don't have a position there. We had a huge day yesterday, so this could get going again here. Oh, I think we're going to get Mitch back, baby. I think we're going to get Mitch back. Tech starting to hold here. Regrouping before the next move. Things are looking strong. That's right after that jolts. That was good for tech, John. Mitch is back. Mitch is fired up. Mitch, tell me you got some good news and wherever you went right there. We had Luke
always,
in here.
baby. Always good news. I'll tell you what, guys. If you guys don't already see it, just look down below. What does that say down there, guys? That says Benzinga's at 200,000 subscribers, baby. So that's all you guys out there. So shout out to you guys. You guys are what make this happen. At the end of the day, without you guys, we would not be here today, Ryan or I. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to you guys, all our subscribers out there. And if you're not already subscribed, like always, hit that button. We're always going to be with you guys and trying to help you guys learn from our process approach. Let's get back to the market. Let's see what else I can do on Trade the Pool today. It's been good for me already out the gates. I'm ready to keep going after it. What are you guys looking at over here?
Real quick. Well, I was just looking at ACHR. 13 showed up, mentioned ACHR again, but we've been looking at a number of stocks. Mitch, we did have a question earlier about the link for the 20% off for Trade the Pool. I wasn't sure where the asset was or if it was contained in the QR code. I did mention scan the QR code, but if there's another link, would you mind posting that?
Yeah. I'll give you the link in the chat there, but it's
perfect.
It's just overall, you should be able to get that 20%. It's only for the end of the month, right? Like you got 2 more days, guys.
You gotta hurry.
So
yep.
You gotta jump on it. You gotta jump on it. It's one of those kind of deals where I haven't seen this. Just to give you guys the perspective, right? You guys have been seeing me mention Trade the Pool for a while. They sponsored Start Swing Trade for a little bit, and I haven't seen this discount. So you guys take advantage of the opportunity. And like I said before, maybe you go for the package now and then you trade with the demo for a little bit just to learn the platform. There's always going to be things that will tell you guys that can maybe help you get to that next level, right? And one of the things I always say, learn your tools first and then learn how to master them and get after it. Yeah. So just like when you get Benzinga Pro, you have to learn it a little bit. And that's why you can always reach out to Ryan and learn a little bit more of how to best use it. But once we really know how to use it, it's all about then actually going into it and making that money. So get after it, guys. Check out the tools. And you can always see the 14-day free trial if you just want to check that out. Let's get to the action. We got Jolts numbers, right? That came in or something?
Yeah, we had the so just to kind of recap here.
Thank you.
According to Benzinga Pro, nice little plug there. USA Jolts job openings for July 8.827 million versus 9.465 million estimate. The prior reading was 9.165 million. This is good for Powell and Company, to borrow the line from one of our chatters earlier. Markets popping here, good for tech, as Jay said. So we're moving up there. That's what's going on. ICCT retesting 3 Crow. That was actually one I was watching. I want to see if this gets wild again here in ICCT.
Jesse bringing up a good comment in the chat, Ryan. I'll let you keep going, but he's talking about Trade the Pool's YouTube channel as helpful. They send notification of their hot stocks. Yep, they'll send you an email of their hot stocks. They'll take a look at different action, and on their YouTube, they have a lot of things to learn from. I'm going to be bringing in those videos starting next week. Of course, like always, we want to make this about the trading action, but I also want to go ahead and give them the floor. But like always, we're going to try to do what? Stick to the action, keep bringing you guys some trades. And in between, we'll tell you guys a little bit about Trade the Pool. Let's get to the action. What are you looking at there? I see ACHR is just taking off.
Yeah, ACHR, we've traded this one a lot. We've talked about this a lot. Kathy's interested in this. 13 just brought it up here. We're taking a look at that, but I'm also taking a look at ICCT. It retested 3 and it went through. I'm long 293 on this little scalp, so this is good. Let's see how high we can go here.
Hey,
I'm not going to let this cross back below 3, by the way.
I'll let you finish that trade. I'll just make one comment here. Soxel, man, how about that one? Holy moly, I sold it a little early. You know how it goes sometimes, team.
Going higher here on ICCT. I just really don't want this to knife.
Yeah, speaking of Wisdom's talking about in the chat, he's talking about the CE having access to CEO
Out.
access, and that's 100% right. We will actually be bringing on Michael here, so you guys can ask him any question you want. And ICCT out says the crow. ICCT
and me,
says
Mitch.
Ryan. And what do we say about that? That's some money right there. Love it, Ryan. Take it, baby. Take it when you can get it, my friend.
So I'm going to wait for this one to set up again here. Really, really good action in ICCT. The one thing I will say about the upside range break, this stock is volatile and fairly spread. So scalping is going to be difficult unless your entry is key. So I'm going to wait for this to set up, and I'm going to be, because I've got gains in it and I don't want to give those back to Mr. Market, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative with this. I kind of tried that on the 3 test. I kind of front ran it a little bit, ended up working. So we'll set up and look if we can double up on those gains.
Well, you guys remember at 9:45, I started talking about what? I started talking about maybe Microsoft going higher, right? And that was right before I left to the meeting. Look at the Microsoft now. Looking pretty good there. Nice little lift off there. And it seems like we're just getting a tech rally when no one probably expected it here. It was
the jolts. The jolts.
I mean, they just kept it going, but I think it was NVIDIA, really. I always think it's like the leading kind of stock, right? Look at this action that you got in NVIDIA here, Ryan. Look how far NVIDIA's ran now. So you get what I mean? Like that's what you needed to happen.
So you see the rebound there in the morning, and then it kind of, if you go back to that intraday chart.
Yeah, I got you. No,
you see, so that first move up there, then it kind of, thank you. The first move up there, and then it kind of stalled a little bit there. I think that next one was from the Jolts data, if I'm not mistaken. That next leg up came from Jolts.
Yeah, I saw the Qs on the VWAP bounce there, and that's all I needed to see, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
You know what I mean? That's all I needed to see was the Qs VWAP bounce. And that's when I was like, NVIDIA looks like an opportunity here as it was going through 466, because I could see that bunch up bottom, and I could see that's what algos love to go off of, a bunch up bottom. They can just size in on the pullback there towards that bottom and then just take it right back up.
Real quick, Mystery Man saying, just signed up for a demo account at Trade the Pool. Going to give it a try. Let's go. It's exactly what I wanted to hear
that's
here.
What I love to hear.
I'll tell you what, Trade the Pool is doing a lot of really cool things, a lot of real cool things for us. So really appreciate all of the support that you're giving them. I want to be able to tell big success stories from this. Someone asked earlier how Trade the Pool works. You basically, you buy in for a smaller amount. There's a bunch of different packages. Mitch has done a really good job covering those packages. They give you more buying power. You go through an evaluation period, and if you're profitable, then you're able to actually make gains using their account, a percentage of those gains. So it can be a really good way for people without a lot of starting capital to have some type of exposure with larger balances. I know we talked about the small account challenge. The pattern day trading rule is really tough to get around. You can avoid that stuff by trading and Trade the Pool. So definitely check them out. I'm really happy to be doing this. I cannot wait to get my account set up. I actually am a little bit embarrassed that with my own tech knowledge that I've been locked out by my own password. Like I said, I probably screwed that up. So
I told you can't be doing those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passwords. Ryan.
Oh, Mitch, I mean, oh man.
Oh, look at GSAT. That wasn't a bad outlook. Remember how we talked about in the pre-market? I said, look for the repetitive pattern. What happened at the open? Repetitive pattern, guys. Look at this. Repetitive pattern, right? And so this is what you're looking for. Patterns that like to repeat, they sometimes do it. Like this is not a bad move there. So a GSAT was a pretty decent trade if you guys traded that one.
GSAT from the list here this morning, by the way, Mitch.
Yeah. Oh, look at this AXLA one. This is a really cheap bad boy, but it's right off the support here on the 30 cents. Will this one get back to 40? Just going through some of these cheaper names here to point these out. TIVC, some smaller names are available. And I think that sometimes people think that, you're not going to get a penny stock available to you. Oh yeah, you got them available, guys.
That's one of the things that I think is really, really impressive about Trade the Pool is the amount of stocks available to trade is gigantic. Mitch, I don't know about you. Yeah. I don't know of any other system like that has such a big pool of stocks to trade. We're lucky. We're lucky.
At least not for prop action, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You'd have to be on like Contracts for difference, CFDs. That's the only
Dude,
way.
Bitcoin, guys, Bitcoin. What are some of the Bitcoin posts? Mara, Riot, Bitcoin, huge candle here.
Hut, Mara,
Look at these. Look at these. Oh
All
man,
right, let's try to get
huge move here in Bitcoin.
Let's try to get this, guys. I'm willing to take
What
a little
happened
bit here.
What happened? I'm going to try to figure out what happened.
Probably like a whale buyer or something. I'm looking for a push down below 1150 now. 1150s is like where the area I'm seeing some people step up to the plate. I'm looking for a move back down towards like 1140s, 1135s, because that's how you get caught right here. I don't want to buy 1150s. I'm going to buy slightly below that. VWAP's at 1130s, slowly moving up. So a 30s or 35 move, I can take it. They're already bought the 1150s. You can see it trying to push through the highs right now. I'm not going to take that 1150s because it was just 50 cents away from the breakout. I feel like that's pushing it a little bit. But we could also take a look at Riot. Riot's also at the 1140s, got bought up on the 1130 pullback there. I'm looking for like 1112s on that, but definitely you're seeing a big move there. One that doesn't move as quickly, we might be able to catch is MSTR, and it's already taken off there. So let's go to the other sympathy plays. Coinbase could be a sympathy play. Look at Coin.
Oh man,
there you go.
That's the.
This is why you got to know relationships. Relationships, it's so important, team. We'll see if we get pullbacks, but this also tells me that the Qs might be going higher here. Why? Because tech and NASDAQ, Bitcoin sometimes gets correlated. We're seeing a nice little drive here. And I actually put out on my Twitter about watching Mara, about watching Riot, especially if we had more bank concerns. But I don't know if this has anything to do with bank concerns, but it has to do with Bitcoin, right? And now you're getting that nice reversal action. Big thing will be looking for resistance on the dailies. Well, where could that stop? That's 12 right now for Mara, and you're hitting it right now around the 1170s. Now let's see if we get a nice little pullback here.
Yeah, regarding the bank thing, the puzzling part about the bank thing, I know KRE was weak out of the gate, but it pretty much got all of that back. It's actually been strong since then. Goldman Sachs higher, JP Morgan higher. So I just, that's puzzling with the banks and the Bitcoin correlation there. Huge move though. Coming back, but the high print on the Bitcoin futures, 27,300, came off that spot a little bit. Let's see if that sets up again. That actually might set up some of these other trades here. By the way, I put a stop loss order out on TCRX at 237. So if the stock crosses back through 237 to the downside, I will stop out. Otherwise, I'm going to put my feet up and let this keep working. TCRX.
I'm going to look for a pullback below 1130s to 1115s on Mara. And that's where I'll get in if I can get in an opportunity. I'm not going to overstep myself, especially when I've been struggling to jump into a high. I'm looking for pullbacks to VWAP. And that's on the 1 minute, but that's just to give you guys the outlook. Where I see the 1 minute VWAP is below 1143s. So I need it to test those VWAPs and then come back up. We'll see what happens. Stockfell also starting to pull back. That's a little part of me is thinking that this might come back to the VWAP around 2150s, 2160s. We'll see if we do get a pullback here in the market. The Qs have just been taking off, and that's what I'm looking to see if it's going to pull back or not. You can see this takeoff. It's definitely been a big push since about 368.50s up to 371.50s. That's a big one. SPY showing overbought. Remember, in the dailies and intraday charts, that's going to be a little bit harder to follow, Gemini. But if you like to use that on intraday, hey, to each his own. I really don't like using RSI on the intraday charts because I have seen that they're just really whippy. I only like using RSI on the daily charts. But that's just to each his own, right? That's just indicator talk. Ion Q steady. Yeah, with the way that AI is ripping up today and the way that you have NVIDIA ripping up today, yeah, this is a play that could actually rip up higher and catch some shorts. This is how, when you have shorts, you got to be quick to the name. This could keep pushing higher. I see AI pushing higher. I see a lot of these names pushing higher. Remember I said be careful with the firm. Look at that push up from 18 today up to 1930s. Look at the daily chart. This is pushing pretty strong.
I joked about checking on a firm while you were gone, because I didn't want you to have a quote, but super strong here today. And real quick, back another shout here. CLSK, big move here. Just a big move here. I'm not in this one. I need this to come back in and set up before I make a trade on it, but huge move here in Clean Spark. Does this have Bitcoin exposure? I think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
Becca. That's how you do it. Know your relationships, Becca.
Know your
Proud of you.
relationships.
That's what it's about, guys. And you got to know your relationships. That's the only way you're going to be able to catch moves like this. You guys, you didn't see us struggle there. We knew exactly. Let's look at the Bitcoin plays. Let's look at sympathy plays. Let's look at side kind of plays that could come into this. We'll see what happens. Grayscale won the lawsuit saying SS trades could be the explaining the Bitcoin pop. Okay. All right.
DNA might be curling off that VWAP, by the way, on DNA.
Man, they bought up those 1150 pullbacks. They didn't give Mara a chance. It's already up there almost to 12, guys. That's a big rip. I'm not going to go after that though.
Yeah, Bitcoin going higher here. So it gave you that little pause and then went higher.
Yeah, it did.
But a lot of strength here today.
The only way I could play it is on a scalp.
Watch.
Starting to see a little bit of some topping action here. We might get a little bit of some pullback. And that's at some point I'm expecting some kind of pullback here. There's the SPY looking a little toppy. We'll see. Can this keep going? If I wanted to, I could play a mean reversion play right back to the VWAP. So like SOX back to VWAP. But I don't want to. It just seems like it's just too strong of a move right now. But at some point, I think we're going to top out. And that doesn't mean that I don't think it's going to keep lifting. I just want to see a pullback and see buyers come back in. It's like a 324 on Microsoft would be a nice little pullback for me. NVIDIA is still leading up there to 482s now. Tesla up big too, guys. So that's definitely going to help keep this market higher. So Tesla pushing. Look at it, 248. Gemini woman asking, when you get a chance, how do I read the RSI about what numbers does one get in on to go to a move up? Okay, so Gemini, I'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Like probably, let's do it around like 10:35. We do have an interview at 10:45. So I do want to let you guys know that we will be getting into that interview. But I'll talk a little bit about RSI, and where I give a lot more of RSI education and talk is in my Start Swing Trade show that starts at 3:30 to 4. If you can make it there, I'll do a bigger conversation for you by all means.
HE, good call here from Becca. HE moving through the VWAP. Let's see if this gets going on HE. That's Hawaiian Electric.
Yeah, with the way the market's going, this isn't a bad one to take a look at right now. But you got to be super quick on this name. I would only day trade this.
On HE?
Yeah. That's just because you never know what can happen, right?
Yep.
One bad news comes out and this thing's $5.
Yeah, the thing though is that I got what I view to be as good news, positive news yesterday. And so I'm wondering if we're going to get a kind of a delayed run here in HE.
No. That's what I'm saying. You can play it. You just always got to remember there's a big side catalyst.
Headline risk. Headline risk
like
absolutely
crazy, right? And so it doesn't mean you can't trade. You can trade whatever the hell you want. You know why, Ryan?
Risk management rules.
Yeah, and when you open an account, does it give anybody else's name but yours? No, it gives yours, baby. So,
okay.
I
see what you did there.
You get what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you trade what the hell you want. Don't tell anybody tell you what to trade. The key is though, tell me you got a plan, right? And then Ryan and I will be like, all right, you got a plan, man. Go execute it. I think that's the way the best traders work, right? At the end of the day,
trade the plan, baby. Absolutely.
Some people might tell you like, you're insane. That doesn't matter. The key that matters here is, do I have a trade thesis and can I execute on it? So for HE, I'd like pullbacks here to 1345. So then I'd get in there and then maybe risk off of like 1330s or 1320s if I want to expand it a little bit. So slight move below VWAP, that's what I'd be looking for on the 5. I'll show you guys that right here. how that looks. So you see how it comes up here. So I like it to retrace some of this strength candle right here. And I wanted to retrace some of it and then just catch it on the pullback and then risk off the bottom of it. So you can either risk on here on the body, or you can risk below towards the low, which is towards that 1320s. And I'd be looking for about like half the body getting pulled back here, which could get it around the 1345s. That's just the way I like to go about it. Sydney saying storyline on HE has improved.
Yep.
It has improved.
Yes, it has.
I'm not disagreeing with. It has improved, but this is just like PCG, right? It was like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We didn't.
And we
know
warned
what
about that when this first happened.
Yeah, it could be like PCG where you get good news, bad news, good news, bad news, good news, bad news, and it just keeps playing that game. And so that's where I say you just gotta, at least for me, I think you got to be careful on that, because I don't ever want to be in a name that I have, like, let's say 50% headline risk in. That just never wants to be something that I want to get stuck in, because you never know. But on a day trade, I understand why you guys are looking at it. I couldn't even swing trade this. I would be feeling, you know how some people say that on swing trades they can't like sleep? This would be one of those. If I took it, I wouldn't be able to sleep. And I like my sleep, guys.
Me too. Reduce your size if that's the case.
Yeah, AI 3070s. We'll see what happens there. If this keeps going higher, the Qs, man, they don't want to stop right now. They're at 372s now and continuing to push. I can't ride this wave now. I already had the wave on SoxL, but I got out a little quick there as I had to get to my meeting there. But hey, that's how it happens sometimes, team. Now it's at 2250s.
Jay, really quickly, personally, I think everyone was bearish on Powell going into Jackson Hole. This is the unwind. Jay, that was me. If you recall, I've been bearish for a long time. Definitely thought we might get some movement with Jackson Hole, with Powell's speech at Jackson Hole. Now, I'm not unwinding any short positions that I'm trapped in, so I'm not going through the unwind process, but I think you might be spot on here with this.
Yeah, I mean, it could do some part of the unwind, right? I just think it's just as simple as tech rallying.
Nice $2 move there again from Lynn on Tesla.
It's just a nice tech rally, at least what I'm seeing here. And that's all on like the big boys. The big boys leading it up, but it could be the unwind, right? I mean, that's an explanation for.
Well, I think what he means, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you mean is the unwind of those bearish positions, right? People going bearish into Powell, the market going up, and now you're seeing those positions unwind. I think that's what you were saying. Let me know.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's meaning.
13 saying that the JOLTS jobs may have lowered the probability of a rate hike next month, as the FOMC website, or the forecasting, the FedWatch website, has a 5% change over yesterday. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's almost a given for September. I think what you got to look forward is for the following month. Will we get an interest rate hike rate on the following meeting? I think it's almost a given at this next meeting. Qs are just strong, guys. They're looking like we might get up towards the resistance, and this is going to be the high here on Thursday on the Qs, 372.74. I'm going to look to see if that acts as resistance here. So you can see here on the daily, I'll show you guys that. If we go to the daily chart, you can see right here the high. And I love how Trade the Pool puts it right here on the top for you. So there's like the open, high, low, close, ticks, volume, right? And so it tells you right there, 372.74. Can we get through that level? That's going to be very important to see if we can drive higher. If we stop there, we could pull back.
TSHA, shame on me. It didn't appear on my scanner. I wonder why, but TSHA pounding the highs here. We traded this one, last week before? Just big move, just staying above the VWAP, moving towards the highs here. 295 on Tisha. I have no position in this. Great volume. Don't really see a setup unless we come back into VWAP. I feel like I missed that one too.
All right, guys. So I'll see if it starts to play off of this, but it's starting to slow down a little bit. We'll see if it gets through. That's 372. You see this dark blue line right above. That's where I'm looking to see if we're going to turn right back down. So what am I trying to do now? I'm trying to play maybe even some of the chop. Oof. You know what's really hot today also? China
Chi-
names.
Chinese stocks, dude. Look at
Yeah,
Li
man.
Auto. Look at this. Look at this. Look at Li Auto's move here today. How are some of the other ones doing? How's
NIO is
X10?
recovering after bad earnings. That tells you enough.
Okay, so let's check that out. And here's Neo.
So Neo had
Oh,
bad earnings.
this has come back quite a bit here. Need another 50 cents or so for this to come all the way back. But you're right. Nice move off the bottom here on Neo.
Deer outlook. Yeah, man. Back to 400, man. Thanks for the reminder there, Val. Let's just say I didn't play this the right way, but I like that it's coming back through 400. I really like Deer, to tell you the truth. I think their earnings were really good, and they do have an interesting chart. Now I'm just going to be looking for pullbacks below 400. They try to maybe get in on a swing trade.
What happens at Val's stays at Val's. Am I right? Mystery Man saying, where's the Windows version of Trade the Pool? BlueStacks isn't compatible with Wine. Don't really want to set up an Android virtual machine. You don't have to. I literally have the app on Windows. It's in there. Let me see if I can direct you to where that is. I literally have the app. I know I'm struggling with my password, but that's a me issue, not a you issue.
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now. Using the Windows version.
When you click on Traders Login in the upper right, there's an option to download the desktop version.
All right, looking around, guys, it's been a really strong day in tech overall. We'll see if we start getting some pullback here, but man, oh look, nice little kind of turnaround, kind of close near that high. Let's see if we start getting this pullback. I'm looking for like kind of VWAP pullbacks now as we're getting really close to this high. We'll look to see if it acts as resistance. That says 372.74 from that recent day that we pushed up there, and now we're starting to pull back. Look at that, back towards 372 here. That's why a little part of me was thinking about maybe playing a little bit of a mean reversion play back to the VWAP here. But there it goes already, a little bit of a pullback. And this is probably going to give me the opportunity that I'm looking for in Mara. If this could come back there towards the 1140s, I don't mind that. It just needs to pull back a significant amount. We'll see what happens here.
ICCT going back towards the highs there on ICCT. Hawaiian Electric coming back into the VWAP. That might set up for us. ICCT going higher here. 25 is your high spot. There's a lot of sellers. There's a big block there. They're hitting it and through. I'm not in this one. Good call, Crow. Oh my God, what a move on ICCT. That upside range break. I wish this was working more often. I'd be hitting a lot of these if this was working more often. Nice out, Crow. Nice job trading that. That was textbook scalp through a level there, Crow. Way to go. Look at it go here. 350 now. Just a great job by our group here. Just an absolutely great job. I definitely, I mean, I made some decent money on this, but man, I could have made a lot. GNS big push up. Interesting. Took that one off. That's not on my scanner either. Let's check out GNS. Nice move off the lows here in GNS.
All right, we'll see if we get this pullback now. Still looking for the pullback to come in here. Seeing the 372s fight a little bit. Let's see if we create like kind of a little bit of a triple top here on the 5-minute. Might actually try to do this mean reversion trade here, guys.
Great job. Great job. Yeah, Zoltan, I know you're looking at this. Let me know if you find anything else out on this, Zoltan, because this stock moving here through 350 now.
Nice rejection there at 372 from the Qs. Let's see if they start working back to the VWAP. See if I can nail a little trade here. As you can see, it's trying to push there on the 5. As long as it doesn't go through this high over here, could be somewhere I could risk off of. That's 372.40s. All right, guys, going to do a starter there. Starter already short there, 372 right on the dot. I can add towards 372 20s and 30s and then hold off that 372.40 risk.
Take care of yourself, Judge. Good to see you.
So I'm only just trying to get this down here towards like support. 370s is like the max profit right here. Even like 370s, like 50s will be a decent win here.
HE coming into VWAP here.
HE, all right. Show you guys that my position here on the Qs. Do you guys see it? Where the red line is where I'm in. Looking to see if we're going to reject here and go red on the 5-minute candle.
Jay, I can't speak to everyone else's scan, but I can say I'll even show you my scan here. We'll do it right now. One of the things that I'm looking for, and let's see if can I make this bigger for you? I don't know. Yeah, that'll help. One of the things I'm looking for here is just basically an intraday relative volume scan, and I'm filtering the things that are moving up because I'm looking for long side trades. So I'm basically finding things that are popping on relative volume, and a lot of them happen to be some of these smaller names. Price change would be another scan, just like kind of like a price spike. Benzinga Pro has a price spike signal. They might be getting it from that. Can only speak for myself, my man. Oh, and that's another one. Easy Mike. Good, really great call here. Squawk will often find these. He's got a bunch of scanners running, so he will often find stocks that are moving, unusual options trades, the whole bit.
All right, guys. In a little bit, we'll be getting into our interview. We're going to wrap up right here in a second here, guys. I'll see if I get stopped out. Looking like I might right now. I'm just letting this work. I just let the stop even work in a second, especially if I get into an interview. Like always, that's what I do to set up and protect myself as a trader. If you're ever going to turn around, one thing I'll do for sure is definitely protect myself. We'll see what happens. Like always, guys, stick around. We got a lot more for you guys. We're going to get into this interview and bring you guys a really interesting interview coming up. One of the things is we want to bring you guys some more education and get you guys the experts that you guys can ask questions to. So when we get into this interview, definitely ask those questions, team. All right. And I do want to also let you guys know about the raffle. Right. So one thing I want to give you guys is an opportunity not only to sign up for Trade the Pool, but also maybe even win some Outlook here. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about it right here. You guys can see, I'll put it up on the screen and you guys see it here. Only 4 days left. Now there's only like 2 days left, guys. So stay tuned. Get in your entrance here. I'll give you guys this link right here so you guys can enter this raffle on Twitter. Want you guys to get your opportunity to win some packages. So definitely smash the like, guys.
Nice move there, Crow. He said he got back into ICCT and immediately went to 4 and then sold off. Nice job. Nice job there. And Jay, not my cup of tea. Too much manipulation. With you there. Totally understand. But this is exactly why I'm so grateful that we have a community that finds different things like some of the plays that you find. I wish I take more of them. I'd have more money now. You've been excellent at spotting some of these swing stocks. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Market strong here today, guys.
Market coming back off the high here, though.
All right, guys, let's do a little last teachings, and then I'll wrap up the day, and then we'll get Ryan out of here and get to our interview. I just want to talk about what I just opened. So I opened here an order on Trade the Pool called what? An OCO order, right? And of course, what is that going to do for me, right? That's going to give me a position that I can go ahead and set what? A stop and a limit out on the position. This will let me allow the position to work here during my interview. And if it hits the limit, it'll close also the stop. or if it hits the stop, it'll also close the limit. So this is a way that I can go ahead and just take the trade, stay objective to my execution areas. And now I'll just set the risk and return, and we'll see what happens there. All right, guys, that's been good for us today. Like always, you guys can check out Trade the Pool. I'm going to throw up here the QR code really big. So if you guys just want to scan that, you can scan that, go to the website, get that 20% off, and join us. Ryan and Ryan's going to be at it tomorrow. I have that feeling. Tomorrow we'll get
I reached, in fact, I might even have an email now. I did it early this morning.
All right, man. I'm going to get you out of here, Ryan. Always good to have you, my friend, in here. We'll always bring you back, and definitely it's good to trade with you, my friend, every single day and learning more process. Even from you, I have a tendency of learning. So always appreciate you being in here with us and battling with us, Ryan.
You got it.
Day and night.
Every day and night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Got it, my friend. Take care. All right, guys, we're going to get to our interview time. You guys smash the like. Let's keep going. And so right now we're going to bring on the Director in Trading Service of Education from Charles Schwab, Joe Mazzola. I'm really excited to bring him on. Let's go ahead. Let's get him on here. How we doing, Joe? Joe, if you could do me a favor, don't worry. This is our fault. You know, it sometimes happens. Can you just check the wheel setting for your mics? Make sure that you have the right mic setting there. You'll see the wheel, you'll see audio, and then on the mic settings there, just make sure that it's selected your actual mic there. We'll get him on in just a second here. All right, team, like always, I'll keep an eye out also on the market. I am still seeing the Qs slow up a little bit here. Like I've mentioned, a move back above 372.50s could be that continued tech rally. I'll pull back here to VWAP. Doesn't mean I think it's over. It just means that we might be pulling off these daily highs that we could see on, of course, from last week's Thursday action. All right, there you go. I think we got you. We might have got you, Joe. Oh, I heard it for a second there. Let's just check it there. Not yet.
I'm hitting everyone. There we go.
There we go. We got you, Joe. How we doing, Joe?
I was hitting everyone on the queue there, so we got it figured out. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. It's sometimes my program, so it's not necessarily you. Sometimes you have the set default, but you know how it goes with technology nowadays. It's good to have you on. Let's talk. Of course, this is the Director in Trading Service of Education at Charles Schwab. Of course, this is a live trading stream that we do, but we're all about process. And I know that's a lot of what you guys try to present your clients. And of course, we have a lot of retail traders out here. So if you guys want to, of course, check out more of Charles Schwab, definitely do so. And I know that one thing that you guys really focus on is sentiment and trends, right? And I think that that's very important because it's always about trying to find, like I like to say, you know, like the Wayne Gretzky quote, you know, not necessarily where the puck is today, but where the puck is going is where we really need to be watching. So let's get into the action, of course. Could you elaborate on your approach there to tracking the trader sentiment and the methods that you guys use to identify emerging trends? And what are some key insights that you've observed recently in the terms of trading sentiment shifts and how they correlate with market dynamics?
Yeah, you bet. So let me start off by saying that this is attitudinal based, right? So we basically ask our trader audience, we say, hey, how do you feel about your current financial situation? How do you feel about the markets? Where do you see opportunities? And you know, how much confidence do you have in your ability to meet some of your financial goals? And what are you doing with your investing right now? So we kind of start off with that broad range of questions. Then we break it down a little bit further. So this survey in particular was conducted between July 6th and August 3rd. So, Mitch, I think we got to think about kind of what was happening in the market at that time, right? What was kind of the macro backdrop? At that point, I think the S&P was up maybe 4% in July, NASDAQ around 5%. So, you know, it was a bit of kind of a Goldilocks in terms of the trader sentiment. So, yeah, of course, they were a little bit more bullish. We saw a bullish uptick to about 44% of our traders now bullish relative to about 32% in Q2. But think about also the macro backdrop too, right? I mean, we had a GDP come out that was better than expected. Inflation data came in lower than expected. We had the Fed, you know, give us that quarter point hike, but at the same time, some of that language around, Powell's speech indicated that there's potential for a soft landing. So I think that improved the trader sentiment. That led to the fact where about 51% of our traders said, hey, it's a good time to invest in stock. But Mitch, I want to tell you this, they weren't looking to index. And I think that's important because I think, kind of given what we're seeing, the dynamics in the market right now, you're asking about the market dynamics. You got to remember coming into June, before we started to really see some of that rotation underneath the surface, you had only about 15% of the S&P 500 stocks beating the index itself. That just shows you how narrow that concentration was amongst the Magnificent Seven, if you want to call them that, right? So what our traders told us was that basically, look, they don't necessarily want to rotate out of those names, but they're looking for more of that kind of market breadth. They're looking for a little bit more of that distribution, and they're actually choosing some value stocks as the way to kind of find that.
That's really interesting. One thing that I always try to keep a kind of tendency of watching, right, is where the market is focusing. Is it growth? Is it value, right? Are we trying to see a shift in rotation, right? And I think that that's really where especially retail can find an advantage, right? Because the truth is the bigger banks and institutions are going to take a little bit longer to rotate into these positions than retail. And so I think that that's one thing that we're looking at. And I think that's one thing that we might even be learning by, instead of going with those ETFs that are a little bit slower to the effects of these trends, is going to those individual stocks and trying to, pick some winners. And I think that one thing that I think traders have definitely been learning of is maybe just sticking with the leadership. Right. Yeah. And that's not a bad approach. Let's talk about that increased bullish sentiment and the move towards stock picking. How do you think this is really kind of changing the mentality of how to invest overall?
We kind of always looked at it, Mitch, like it's, where are we in the economic cycle, right? There are some times where it does make sense to index. There are some times where it makes sense to look at some of the small caps as you're kind of rotating maybe out of a recession, and there's some new opportunities there. I mean, look at kind of what happened in 2021, right? It was a lot of the lower quality names that really showed that outperformance because, financing was cheap. You had zero rates, and we're on kind of the other end of the spectrum now. And what we've noticed is that, boy, just a lot of our traders are looking for kind of short duration stocks. I think a lot of people are familiar with short duration in terms of fixed income, right? They're looking at, the 2-year versus the 10-year, but you can do short duration in stocks too. And what that really means is looking for stocks that have, real near-term cash flows, good balance sheets. These aren't companies that you're looking at as, well, 5 or 10 years down the road, this is where we're really going to start to see the growth. A lot of the traders are now looking for companies that can generate that cash flow now, have the balance sheet, because it gives them a little bit more of a cushion should we enter a recession. And interestingly enough, Mitch, a lot of our traders indicated that, not only is there a possibility that we're already in a recession, but they see a recession right around the corner. And I think one of the takeaways that I noticed from their responses was, yes, they see a recession around the corner, but no, they don't believe it's going to be a long one. They believe it'll be 6 months or less.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing and talking about potential recession. Of course, we've been seeing a lot of retail stocks lately taking a hit, and that's something definitely to keep an eye out. Is the consumer slowing down or not in their spending? That's definitely some things that we can look at. And could you discuss potential challenges and opportunities that a recession might actually have for the retail sector, or maybe other opportunities and investments if we do go into that recession?
Sure. Let me just start off by saying one thing that I find interesting in terms of what we saw from earnings, and I think this will kind of lead into that as you were talking about, some of the discretionary names and what we've seen from retail. Just look at the way the market has responded to winners versus losers. And to me, this is fascinating. I look at the market as like a puzzle, and I'm trying to put all these different pieces together, whether it's the fixed income, equity side, commodity space, whatever. But when I'm looking at the market's reaction to winners versus losers, stocks that came out and beat their earnings, if you look at that 4-day window, the 2 days before and the 2 days after, they saw a decrease of about 0.5% relative to the S&P 500. So really not a lot of a reward for beating your earnings. But if your stocks that missed the earnings, in that 4-day window, they saw a decrease by almost 2%. So it's skewed, right? There's some pessimism that's kind of skewed and built into that market. Now you can look at that two ways, right? I mean, you guys do a lot of short-term trading there. You might say, hey, I want to fade that, that negative sentiment, get bullish. I think, kind of looking at the market where we're at right now, where you see about 35% of the S&P 500 trading below their 50-day moving averages and under 50% right around that 200-day moving average, sentiment's gotten a little bit bearish. And I think that has turned from some of that frothy sentiment that we saw back in June. And so at these levels as traders, a lot of times you say, okay, I want to take the other side of that trade. And I think, on days like today and days like yesterday, where things had gotten a little bit too bearish last week, you're starting to see some of that technical bounce, some of that negative sentiment maybe kind of rolling out of the market. Another thing I would add to that too is if you look at the collection of hedge funds in terms of their short positions, it reached an annual high coming into last week. So a lot of people might be getting kind of caught off sides on this trade a little bit. Now, where does that lead into the recession? Why did I bring that up? Because I think that a lot of talk around recession needs to kind of focus around sentiment as a whole. We look at the market and we think that, the market's always based off of price to earnings ratios and fundamental analysis. I look at the market and I say the market is a collection of the investor sentiment. You can have really high PEs, but as long as investors are still feeling pretty good about, where they're at and what the prospects are going to be, the market can go up. The valuations matter later on down the road. They don't matter in a short term trading cycle. And so what happens is if there is a fear that you're not going to have a job, if there's a fear that you're not going to be able to afford some of those durable goods, and that we've actually seen durable goods holding up okay, then you really start to see that negative sentiment. I think right now we're probably somewhere in the middle. And I think that, a bit of some choppiness in the next few months is probably on the table. We'll probably see some volatility within a range.
Yeah. And I think we're all clearly seeing that also in just the recent action, right? The choppiness in the markets. And we'll see if we get a continued tech rally, at least in the intraday today. But I did want to, of course, kind of give you guys some other insights for you guys to learn more about things that Joe does. And I wanted to throw here the Trader Roundtable. These were expert strategies and tips that Joe took part in. It's a nice kind of article and blog, and you guys can keep up with all the actions. They have a lot in the learning environment. If you guys want to take some more, definitely reach out to Joe. Joe Mazzola here, Director of Trading Service Education at Charles Schwab. We'll definitely have you back on, Joe. Appreciate you coming on today.
I appreciate your time, bud. Have a good one.
Take care. All right, guys, we'll be wrapping up here in just a second. It's always good to hear from, of course, people out there trying to help us learn, right? And I think that that's what we do here at Benzinga, is always try to be focused on you guys and traders out there, continuing learning and getting more. If we can continue delivering the value, that's what it's all about. And I want you guys to stick around. You guys, you traders out there that love to kind of maybe hop out in the next show. Live, of course, Benzinga Live with AB. We'll be celebrating our 200,000 subscriber growth here at Benzinga and looking a little bit into our journey, right? What is it that we really offer you guys? Well, there's no better way than really kind of taking a look at clips and examples of amazing moments that have been brought right here on Benzinga, of course. So check that out, guys. That's going to be on Benzinga Live coming up next. Appreciate you, the comment there, RS, on the good interview. And we're going to keep doing more of those. And of course, we'll keep taking a look at Trade the Pool. We'll see what happens. I still think this is an interesting opportunity here to short there. I didn't want to risk it too much when I was in the interview. Took a little bit of a hit. But guess what, guys? At least in the green today. And to tell you the truth, guys, I could push it today and try to get big green. But I just want to get green back on the track, right? Just get back to one green day. Help my confidence into the remaining week. And then, of course, we'll keep battling like always. Smash that like. If you guys enjoyed today's action right here on live trading, of course, enjoyed the action from Ryan Faluna. And, of course, our interview today, Director of Trading Service at Education at Charles Schwab, Joe Mazzola. Wrapping up here. I'll see you guys over on, of course, Benzinga Live. That's starting up next. Don't go anywhere, team. We got a lot more for you guys right here, of course, on Benzinga. And I don't want you guys to miss Benzinga Live and how to invest in AI like a pro. Coming up right now, guys. Don't go anywhere.